It's time for Dodger baseball. It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. The Dodgers get the win. They dominate the Padres. They sweep them again. The Dodgers, like I've said for years now, the Dodgers are the Padres' Padre. You see the dominance on the field. LA, the execution was outstanding. You saw them tack on some runs there late. The big RBI, the big 2-out, 2-strike RBI to score Trey Turner late. Cody Bellinger, 2 home runs today, his 15th multi-home run game of his career, his second of the season. First one coming back in late April against these same Padres, and him hitting those bombs to left center. Max Muncy, he's really starting to see the ball better. He's scorching the ball off the bat. So we have a lot to get into, but what is about this Padres team? They trade for Juan Soto. It's supposed to change the game. Yes, they don't have Fernando Tatis Jr. back, but the Dodgers continue to dominate San Diego. But first, let me know, who is your player of the game? You could go with Cody Bellinger. You could go with Tyler Anderson. A lot of nice options today, but I want all your thoughts, all your takeaways from the Dodgers series sweep over San Diego. It's the 6th straight series win over the Padres. The Dodgers are 20-9 versus San Diego since the start of the 2021 season. They're 30-5 since June 29th, a plus 226 run differential. They have a 15.5 game lead over San Diego in the NL West, 17 in the loss column, and like I said, they own San Diego. It's Slam Diego. No, it's Sham Diego against the Dodgers. I mean, it's sad Diego. They body slam Diego once again this series. They've now taken 17 of their last 19 games versus the Padres, and we have a lot to get into in this one. Dodgers 138-70 since 2010. So yeah, let's go. Clown Diego from Daniel Muller. But I want all your takes, guys. Glad to be back. I mean, for a Sunday show for sure. So let's do it. Sweep, sweep, sweep. By the way, I'm looking for the comment of the day. It could be a burn. It could be something funny. But I'm looking for your comment of the day. If you have it, you're going to hear you win. If you give me a good burn, I don't care who it's about, the Padres, the Astros, whoever it is, you're going to hear it finish him. If you bring those fire takes, a hot take, you hear one of these. I think we need to start talking about Tyler Anderson as a possible extension, or at least give him that qualifying offer. I think I have him in my postseason rotation, so we're going to get into that too. We got, here we go, Tyler. There we go, Scott. You're a friend of the show. You know that's the way we call him here. Tyler, the outs creator, Tyler Anderson. Cody. Yeah, it was nice to see Cody Bellinger have some success again today. And look, he's hitting balls to left center. And that's massive for Cody Bellinger. It means he's behind. It means he's seeing it well. It was had a 2-seam fastball off Darvish up in the zone, outer half, bottom of the 3rd inning, and he goes deep. Juan Soto did his best when he was mic'd up, saying, "Keep it in, stay in, stay in." No, Juan Soto, that ball was going out, and Cody Bellinger puts the Dodgers up big early. But we're gonna break down this entire game. But let's get into these comments, guys. See what you have to say. We'll give you all my takes as well. Padres offense failing asleep. I like this one. Jamie Lannister, early contender. Padres offense falling asleep is the player of the game. Look, I mean, yes, the offense was pretty putrid for the most part. Not a lot of, extremely competitive at-bats, but give the credit to this Dodgers pitching staff. I mean, they outscored the Padres in this series. They outscored the Padres in this series by a total of 20-4. 20-4 in this series. I thought Tyler Anderson was absolutely outstanding, and it wasn't even one of his big strikeout games or anything like that. He ends up with 3 strikeouts, allows no runs on 2 hits in 7 innings of work, 84 pitches, 59 for strikes, so that's about 70% right there. Anything above 65% is definitely what you want. His ERA is lowered to 2.72 on the season. And like I said, not a ton of swing and miss. 7 swinging strikes, and he faced 23 batters in this one, but he was getting ahead in the count. He was putting hitters in the hole early on, and he faced 23 hitters tonight. 9 of those hitters, he had an 0-2 counts. 9 and 0-2 counts. When you're doing that, you're throwing strikes, you're attacking the zone like Tyler Anderson did. You're manufacturing weak contact. He had that cutter that was lazy fly balls. You had the lazy ground outs. Got a big double play there in the 5th inning. A big, massive play by Chris Taylor. That was fantastic. Chris Taylor covers more ground than a Roomba in a mansion. He made a fantastic play on that Nola line out in the 6th inning. And also, he got Juan Soto, the greatest hitter since Ted Williams, to ground into a double play. So that was fantastic. A little cutter, soft contact. So we're going to break down his, I like that, Manny, Whammy, Noah talks. Yeah, did Manny Machado, man, Johnny Hustle, as he's known, he showed us last night that, hey, he's never going to change. Manny being Manny. And, yeah, you saw him commit that error last night, didn't hustle after it, and there's a reason why there was no negotiations between the Dodgers and Manny Machado. And look, he's a fantastic player. He was a front runner to win the MVP in the National League for the first 2 months of this season. But, I mean, look, you see the hustle of this team, the execution, the fire, the passion, the competitiveness that they play with, never giving up at-bats. Doesn't matter how many outs there are. He just wouldn't fit in Dodger blue, let's put it like that. And I was in the game seeing the press box on Friday, and they need a boo meter. That's what they need for Manny Machado. They need a boo meter. Anytime he steps to the plate, be a little boo meter, and then see the fans go boo, because those boos are off the charts. Dodger fans never get tired of booing Manny Machado. But here we go. Robert Fasta. That team was worse than the 500s. We got Jerry and Padres are too focused. When the Padres are too focused on the Dodgers when they should focus on the other teams they're fighting for, the wild card spots, St. Louis, Atlanta, Phillies, Brewers. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're the Padres, you made that massive move. It was such a crazy, I mean, look, it was a move that, look, even if it doesn't work out this year, you can easily justify if you're the Padres and say, hey, we have Juan Soto for the next couple of seasons, 3 postseasons, and you're fine with that. But you make that move, you trade away. This is the details of the deal. Like I tweeted out a little earlier, a couple days ago, this was the full details for the Padres and Juan Soto trade. So the Nationals get Padres Farm System, SeaWorld, Legoland, the San Diego Zoo, the Tony Gwynn statue, Ron Burgundy and the Channel 4 News team, the USS Midway, the Gaslamp Quarter, Hotel Coronado, Blink-182, and UCSD, and the Padres get Juan Soto and Josh Bell. So that's a big haul just to possibly be an early exit against the Atlanta Braves. So the Padres could have made this massive move and not even have a home postseason game. And one thing that really stood out for me from tonight's broadcast first of all, I'm a fan of Juan Soto. I think he's great for the game. I think he's generational. I don't think he's overrated at all whatsoever. But I did find it interesting that during that mic'd up, he said, I just want to make the Padres fans happy for the next couple of years. Look, we know that he was always going to hit free agency when you consider the fact his agent is the Thanos of sports agents, Mr. Scott Boras. You know that he was going to hit free agency regardless, but he doesn't appear like he has any intention of signing long-term in San Diego. But who knows? Keep the beard, Cody. David Stouffer, I'm going to give that a contender for comment of the night because that could be a thing. Cody Bellinger, 2 home runs tonight, 15th time in his career that he's accomplished that, 2nd time this season, and the beard is a-flowing, and we saw last season he struggled mightily the entire year. His power was sapped after, thanks Kike Hernandez, you leave the Dodgers and you take away Cody Bellinger's power, and you probably use it all in the 2021 postseason when he was red hot for the Red Sox, but he struggled all year, and then he went with the buzz cut belly, and what do we see? A 907 OPS for Cody Bellinger in the postseason. So I like your take right there, David. Maybe you stick with the bearded belly and things will continue to turn around and he'll continue to produce. Because I'm telling you, you can count on Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, who's been locked in. He was absolutely outstanding last night. He's seeing the ball well. He's getting that timing, that rhythm. You see him scorch anything in the inner half. He's just pulling into left field. He's been fantastic. But if you get Max Muncy and Cody Bellinger to look anything like the players they were in the past, it's over. This offense is absolutely unstoppable, and tonight was a really good step in the right direction for both those players. Cody Bellinger, he finishes the night in the 9th hole, by the way, going 3 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 home runs, and then Max Muncy, he goes 2 for 4. So Max Muncy, he's showing some signs of life. You're seeing, he's making that little adjustment that people have been talking about his back foot, kind of giving himself a better opportunity to just kind of get behind fastballs and catch up to stuff. Well, he's 11 for his last 28, hitting over 400. I always say Max Muncy, he's a big Texas guy, right? He's the Texas barbecue to the Dodgers ribs when it comes to if he actually pours turns it on, he's the big thumper. He can get you a big postseason home run. Let's not forget, lest I remind you, Max Muncy, an 887 career postseason OPS. So don't give up on Max Muncy because that could be a big difference maker if he can turn it around. But here we go. Craig Osterberg, our AAA team should play the Padres. It might be more competitive. Okay, man, there's going to be a lot of winners because you guys are bringing the burns, you're bringing the fire here. $2 from my man. Now the world 1 through an 8. That's going right to the Trey pot. We're going to hashtag pay Trey. We're going to raise the money. I'm going to hand deliver it to Andrew Friedman in the front office. I might take a little bit for some carne asada fries and a natty ice and a Zima. But, yeah, we got and probably an RC Cola. ESPN wanted San Diego to win this game so bad. Now the world 1 through an 8. I feel you on that 100%, especially when you consider the fact that they're obsessed with San Diego. It's almost like, oh, the Dodgers this, the Dodgers that. Look, the Dodgers are the team that is the glamour franchise, but they want to focus on Fernando Tatis Jr. and Juan Soto, and for good reason. Those are exciting young players. They play with a lot of passion, a lot of flavor. So I don't fault them on that, but I agree with you. That's a great take. Moose 1032. Let's go D-Mac. I know this isn't October, but this was a big sweep win because of the acquisitions they made. Padres went all in. They mortgaged their future. Moose, I think that's a great point because, look, if the Padres, let's say, look, I mean, there's a lot of, before this series started, Dodgers were set to face the Padres 12 times in this series. They had a lead around 12, and they had a 12.5 game lead at the time. So let's say the Padres come in here, they make a statement, they cut that lead down to 9.5. Maybe for the Dodgers, you start to have some doubt creep in and you hear all the whispers about this Padres team. I was there on Friday. I was in that clubhouse, and you could tell this team had a focus. And yes, it was a postseason-like atmosphere because of the ceremony to celebrate the GOAT of all GOATs, Mr. Vincent Edward Scully, but they knew that all the media, like you just mentioned, about the hype surrounding this Padres team, and they didn't just beat them, they swept them. They body slammed Diego, okay? They won by a final score. The cumulative total of 20. They outscored them 20 in this series, 20 to 4 this series. So outstanding work by the Dodgers, and I agree. You got to carry on this momentum. And yes, there's some injury issues. We talk about that. Yancy Almonte, he goes to the IL, has a little bit of an elbow issue. They call up Andre Jackson. Andre Jackson, he's been struggling mightily. And look, if Miss Jackson, if you're watching this, I apologize in advance. I'm just going to say sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo! But he has a 6.34 ERA, 37 walks to 30 strikeouts this season. So he definitely has struggled this year. But look for Ryan Pepio to come up and start in place of Clayton Kershaw, who's going to be out for the foreseeable future. I think the silver lining there is we saw the success that Clayton Kershaw had in 2020 when it was a shorter season and he looked like he had some gas in the tank. Well, I think this year with Clayton Kershaw, the silver lining is you get that back right. It's not an arm injury. It's not an elbow injury. He didn't walk off the field clutching that baseball. So I think if you can get him back in the mix at the right time, I think that he's going to be better off and he's going to perform better in the postseason. So and they also look at the fact the Dodgers not only have a cushion in the NL West, they have a cushion in the entire league. They're now up 5.5 games over the Yankees, and Frankie the Yankee Montas, he got rocked against the Cardinals today. So hey, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if you saw my friend over on Twitter. Forgot her name, but she tweeted out that the Dodgers record with Joey Gallo and the Yankees record without Joey Gallo. So maybe it's the curse of Joey Gallo in New York, I guess. But here we go. We got Trace, Gallo, Vargas, Outman, Bauer. Gallo equals Muncy, Trigger. BC, I like that tweet. I like that take right there because these guys are all competitors. You saw last night when Mike Clevenger, when he pitches like there's an earthquake on the field or something. You saw Mike Clevenger, what he did. He basically hits Will Smith. I saw the look on Will Smith's face saying, hey, bro, was that intentional? You're trying to HBP to get to Muncy? Well, what happened? He hits a tank, number one sign, rounding the bases. And look, when you can find an edge like that, it's like Steve Kerr. It's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan knew how to find that edge. So yeah, I mean, you gotta. That's really what it's all about. You want to find that edge any way you can. And I think with Max Muncy, they bring in a Joey Gallo, who, yes, they're going to platoon him, no question about it. If you look at his splits, lefty-righty, if you look at his home road splits, there's a good chance that yeah, that sparked a little more fire. But to me, I think it's more the adjustments. And yeah, look at the LeBradford Smith game when Michael Jordan, he basically made up this whole entire story about LeBradford Smith, saying that he was talking smack, and then Jordan, he eviscerated him, scoring like 47 points in that game the next time they played. So the greats, all these pro athletes, they are always looking for another motivating factor. But here we go. Padres took a hell. Maybe Juan regrets not signing with LA. Robert, he didn't have a choice. That's why I found it a little funny that Dodger fans were booing him as if he had a choice to where he was going to be traded. He had no choice, okay? I mean, when you're still in your arbitration years and you're under contract, the team has full power to where your destination is going to be, and especially when you consider that team control. Juan Soto didn't have any choice as to his destination, but it is interesting to see what he'll do in a few years from now. But right now, this team, they're locked and loaded and they're ready to roll. We got Ohtani, Judge, Rodon will join the Dodgers in free agency, and they'll be unstoppable. BC Judge, I don't see Judge as a Dodger. I really don't. I think Judge could possibly end up in San Francisco. I think the New York Yankees, when you consider the fact that he could break Roger Maris's record and surpass him, hit 62 bombs this year. They all rise for him in New York. I'd like to see him probably stay with the Yankees. Rodon's an interesting one. He has dealt with some injuries, shoulder injuries in the past. Last year, he was fantastic. Of course, he threw that no-hitter, and then you saw him kind of fade down the stretch where they were having to have a six-man rotation. So there are some injury issues with Rodon, but he's an option that I've explored if you watch the show. Pretty in depth. So, but I like the Ohtani one. Ohtani, let's talk some Shohei, because I think if they were able to swing a deal for Shohei, I'd feel really good about getting an extension done with him. But Tatis Jr. rehabbing here in San Antonio. No hits games have been sold out. LA_Broad_72. Thanks for the update down in San Antonio. Remember the Alamo? Great visit. Never been. All who signs with SD, not LA, get burned. I like that. Kimbrel would have struck out Soto if not for bad calls. Alleluia won 100%. I mean, he totally got squeezed. Bottom of the zone there. It should have been a clean inning for Craig Kimbrel. And you saw he was making light work. I mean, the fastball velo was kind of okay. The location of the curve, I thought, was a little up, but he got Mazzara to ground to second. Then he got Profar to pop to shortstop for the second out, and then with Soto, he falls behind the count, so he's down 2-0, and then throws that knuckle curve for a strike for the first strike of the at-bat, and Soto, he fouls off a four-seam fastball on the outer half a little, and then he throws a ball, knuckle curve, misses inside, kind of just pulls it a little bit, and then he fouls off the sixth pitch of the at-bat. But you're right, 100% on the seventh pitch of that bat. That was a well-located pitch by Craig Kimbrel there. He should have struck out Juan Soto looking, but that's a reputation call. I'm telling you, when you are Mr. Juan Soto, when you are a player that he has an uncanny ability to draw walks, Juan Soto is going to get that call, and especially when you consider the fact that umpires realize that that Kimbrel has struggled with command. Maybe there's a little bit of that too, so you get the reputation call both ways. But Juan Soto, I mean, he came into this game with 94 walks on the season. So I think at this point umpires are just used to it. It almost reminds me of remember a few years ago when Joey Votto drew that walk on ball 3, and it wasn't even 4 balls, and he just takes the walk anyway. The umpire's like, well, look at me. If Joey Votto thinks it's the 4th walk, it probably is. But some more your takes. We go Padres after game show is priceless. This is always good times. I mean, I feel bad. I thought it'd be great. The fact that tonight. Yesterday, they didn't get shut out, of course, and on Friday. So, there's going to be no parade in San Diego tonight. You feel for him. But, Strider, hear you. D-Mac, Cody Bellinger was awesome from the plate. 3 for 3, 2 homers. Honestly, it was going to take a year and longer to get his swing back. I just hope he keeps it going. Look, we've already established on this show, forgot who it was earlier that said it, that it's bearded belly. As long as he lets that beard grow, I want to see full-blown Rick Ross. I want to see, 2017 Justin Turner level Cody Bellinger beard and, go full, just do it. And hopefully that'll change things around. But you're right. He just looked a lot better at the plate. And the way that he was attacking some of those fastballs and the way he really put himself in a great position just to get hits. And I think with Cody Bellinger, I think the most impressive one for Belly was just going in there and the bottom of the 3rd inning, he's down the count. It's a 2-2 count. And you can see how they're trying to attack him with that curveball inside, and then the cutter on the outer half, he fouls that off, and then middle sinker, and he just takes it to left center for a home run, 14th home run of the year for Cody Bellinger. And then later in the game, Cody Bellinger is able to get that home run and did a great job getting himself in a hitter's count. He falls behind the count early, takes that fastball, sinker, inner half on the lone inside for strike one, and then he lays off that splitter bottom of the zone, lays off that splitter in the bottom of the zone, and then sinker, middle, he punishes it. And that is what Cody Bellinger does when he's at its best. When he's at his best, he's punishing mistakes, he's getting himself into hitters' counts. And then I thought, yes, you had the 2 home runs. Those are the ones that you're going to see go viral, the belly bombs and everything like that, especially when you consider the fact that it happened during Juan Soto's mic'd up, where Soto was trying to will it, saying, keep it in, stay in. But no, Juan, I'm sorry, that ball, it went out. But I think the most impressive at-bat for Cody Bellinger, to me, if you look at the bottom of the 5th, that single, he worked a 9-pitch at-bat. And it was a 2-2 count. He fouls off 3 straight pitches, 2 cutters, and then a slider to stay alive, and they were trying to attack him in one of his cold zones right there, a slider low and away. He fouls that off, and then he takes that splitter, a non-competitive pitch outside for ball 3 to load the count, and then a cutter kind of left it up a little bit, and he ends up getting a single out of it. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Strider, hear you. He's showing a lot of signs of life, and it's not just getting hits and hitting the ball hard. It's the at-bat quality that you like to see from Cody Bellinger. And he's a guy that, if you have Cody Bellinger stock, I'm telling you, you can sell it if you want, but you consider the fact that what he does from a defensive standpoint, what he does for this team, how easy he makes it. The Dodgers, they don't have to think about having a center fielder that gets the job done and plays at a Gold Glove level. I mean, he provides a lot of value from this team, and I just wouldn't sell my stock, especially when you consider the fact that he had a disastrous year last year and ends up coming through in the postseason, had the second highest OPS on the team behind Chris Taylor. But we got 15.5 games from Jacob. We have what's our playoff rotation? Rome 33, I've been going back and forth on that. Obviously, there's no question you're going to have Julio Urias. You're going to have Clayton Kershaw. I think, to me, it's going to be very interesting when you look at this Dodgers postseason rotation, because how does Walker Buehler look when he comes back? I actually talked to Walker Buehler at the game on Friday, and he's a guy that definitely is showing some there's just something about Buehler. The good vibes are definitely there, and I think he's putting in the work. He wants to contribute. He's embraced any role he's going to get if it means coming out of the bullpen. I think that I wouldn't not be against the idea of, I said it before, maybe you bring him in as a closer, get the final 3 outs if that swing and miss is there, because look, if he had a little minor procedure on that little bone spur, and then you also consider the fact that he threw more innings than any pitcher in Major League Baseball. He was an absolute workhorse last season, over 226 innings, regular season and postseason combined. He was just one of 4 pitchers last year to throw over 200 innings, so he needed a rest. Butane was out of gas, and when he comes back, look, he's a guy that can, if he looks the part, I think that you got to trust him when you look at his track record in the postseason. Last year, after he kind of struggled when he ran out of gas, there were some rough starts. You saw, of course, the home run to Rosario, where I actually didn't like the pitch selection there by Will Smith. But I think, all in all, if you look at his track record in the postseason, he has the experience, 79 and 2/3 innings, 10 series, a 2.94 ERA. So I think if Buehler looks the part and he's built up, maybe he goes and starts and gives you 4 or 5 innings. Remember, the innings count across Major League Baseball is down to 5.2 innings per start. That number is already going down, so you're not, you want 6, you want 7, but in the postseason, it's really increasingly becoming a battle of the bullpens. And then I think the big one that I'm looking at is Tyler Anderson is an absolute dog. You look at that changeup, you look at that pitch mix, to consider the fact, he is a lefty. I mean, do you really want to go 3 lefties with Kershaw, Anderson, Urias, and then Buehler? Probably not. But, I mean, I think Tony Gonsolin, he still has to prove it in the postseason. I mean, an ERA under 10 for Tony Gonsolin in the postseason, and you see he's grown a lot. The innings count has really jumped up. 109.2 innings for Tony. Previous career high was just under 60. So that's an interesting one. Julio, I trust Julio. I mean, 3rd time through the order. that's interesting. But a 2.57 ERA for Julio Urias. He's definitely going to be in there. Gonson, Kershaw, Buehler, and then the big kicker, of course, is Dustin May. What will they get out of him? The punch-outs have been there, 15 strikeouts and 9 innings of work for Dustin May in his rehab starts, and I think he's a guy that they're going to maintain some flexibility with, and you're going to see some piggybacking with Heaney, with Gonsolin, with May, maybe even Walker Buehler. So they're really, I think it also depends on Kershaw's health as well. But here we go. Give Mark Pryor raise, Elijah Anthony. By the way, when you guys ask me a good question, you just be prepared. Because I like your takes, man. You guys have the fire takes. I want to hear what you have to say. Man, we just dominate. What else can I say from JP Ramirez? We got JRM, MLB Network, and ESPN probably sad the Padres lost. That's a fire take. Tijuana baseball greater than signed Padres. Bringing it. That's from Onevado. That's from Onevado Underdog over on YouTube. Tony Lama. Belly and Muncy getting that eye of the tiger. Yes, I think that's really one of the biggest takeaways from this series. The Dodgers, we gave you the numbers earlier, 20-9 versus San Diego since the start of the 2021 season. They've taken 8 out of 10 from Slam Diego this year, 17 of their last 19. But the big takeaways, Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy really starting to look more like themselves at the plate. Getting themselves in hitters count. Max Muncy, he's hitting the ball hard. 5 extra base hits for Max Muncy. 5 of his last 11 hits are extra base hits, and he's 11 for his last 28, hitting over 400. But Slum Diego, that's from GQ Martinez. You guys going to break my sound effects board because it brings so many burns. Hashtag win for Vin. Yeah, guys, give me a hashtag win for Vin, celebrating the greatness of Vin Scully. I'll tell you right now, period, point blank, this show would not exist with my name on it if it weren't for Vin Scully, my original idol and inspiration, and the reason really why I fell in love with the game of baseball, and really the guy who taught me 90% of the game back in the day when we couldn't just Google everything, right? But here we go, Slump Diego since '69. We got thanks for the Ron Burgundy. Mullen D-Mac does put on a good show. Thanks, I'd be stroking. Appreciate you, my man. Hashtag win for Vin. Gavin Lux dancing is priceless. Vibey. I like how your name is Vibey because Gavin Lux brings those good vibes. And yeah, I agree with you. Don't forget that Trace Thompson is the. Okay, I'm gonna have to give. Man, you guys are gonna honestly. There's so many good takes on this one, but we got one here from Trace Gallo Vargas Outman. Season 22 says, don't forget that Trace Thompson is the front runner for NL MVP. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't want to crush your dreams. I don't want to pour some ice cold water on your Trace Thompson for MVP consideration. But look, he didn't hurt his MVP case tonight when you consider the fact that he comes in and he goes 1 for 1. So there you have it. So yeah, man, keep fighting the good fight for your boy Trace Thompson, man. He's been such a breath of fresh air, a revelation, a guy that's came in and really contributed to this Dodgers team. So yeah, I mean, nothing but respect for Trace Thompson. I'm just happy the Dodgers aren't without a Trace. I like seeing him in Dodger blue. Great clubhouse guy, puts in the work, and yeah, man, he's really impressed a lot of people within this Dodgers organization. A lot of guys think, hey, man, you're talking about a 31-year-old minor leaguer, but he comes in and look, an 846 OPS. What more could you ask for? 6 doubles, 4 home runs, and a triple. Trace, man, he's really been fantastic. I mean, at this point, I think it's safe to say that Klay Thompson is now known as Trace Thompson's brother. I mean, that's just kind of what it is at this point. But do you think Jack in the Box, I like this from Michael, do you think Jack in the Box is regretting giving away free burgers for 10 strikeout games? The Dodgers are going to make them, to take them out of business. I think when you could, look, Jack in the Box is from San Diego, so maybe did the Padres include Jack in a Box in the San Diego trade for Juan Soto? That's a possibility. But look, I think it really speaks to how inexpensive it is to probably make those burgers. But have you guys ever actually, let me ask that question. Has anyone ever taken advantage of that promotion? Let me know down below in the comment section, because how it works is I've taken advantage of it once and I realized that I left with like 2 tacos and like all this other stuff. So it actually kind of works in their favor. They end up profiting from it. But I'm a beast in the 8th. We got Evan Phillips. Absolute Dr. Filth. he has been at lights out. I mean, he has been, he's pretty much been better than Morrow really in 2017. I mean, Evan Phillips, he's breaking bats with that cutter. You're seeing the movement is filthy. Today, he just makes light work. I mean, 14 pitches for Evan Phillips, 11 for strikes. His ERA down to 143 on the season. A strikeout in his inning of work. So, yeah, I mean, he's just been outstanding. I mean, imagine if Blake Trinan comes back and he's 2021 Blake Trinan, the LAFD, or as my friend says on this chat, the extinguisher. I mean, it's going to be – you're going to have some serious bullpen pieces to work with. The extend tray, absolutely. What do you think about the Mets, D-Mac? I mean, look, the Mets are hot. The Mets have two pitchers, the DeGrominator and Max Scherzer, where if they're right – there's no team out there that has two better starters in a postseason series. And when you consider the fact that, hey, we'll see. The good thing is, you just hope to face them in a 7-game series. You don't want to face them in a short series. And I think the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers, I think they're most definitely on a collision course for the NLCS. So hopefully the Dodgers will be the kings of New York. And first they'll beat the Mets and then the Yankees. So it'll be a Subway World Series for the Dodgers. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, I mean, you got to respect the Mets. Lots of talent on that team. I think when you look at how they stack up offensively, I'd still give the advantage to the Dodgers. Yes, they have some nice pieces. Lindor hasn't quite worked out. But if you look at that Mets team, they're definitely a solid bunch. And I think, Edwin Diaz, he's really fixed some things mechanically. His walkout song has to be one of the greatest walkout songs. His run-out song, the dun, 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 it's so intimidating. That when you talk about Hell's Bells with Trevor Hoffman, when you talk about Welcome to the Jungle with Eric Gagne, Lights Out, California Love with Kenley Jansen, it's definitely one of the best ones. So I respect the Mets, and I think the big question is, how will they perform offensively? So, they got some nice pieces. Pete Alonso, he's been a dog for them. He's still a big bopper. Lindor definitely having a better year. Starling Marte was a nice pickup. Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil's always getting hits. Mark Canha, Escobar. They're definitely a solid bunch. I think the Dodgers, though, when you consider the top of that order and the guys that have really started to turn things around. And look, let's not forget, it's about run prevention, okay? Everyone's talking about how many runs they've scored this season, but the Dodgers, they've been outstanding when it comes to run prevention on the season. So, yeah, they've given up 345 runs all year. That's the best in baseball. They also lead baseball with a 226 run differential. But here we go. Haha, crickets on Soto. That's from Stan the Rams fan. Alex Renteria, Mookie Betts with the Carlton dance. He's Mookie Betts, man. It's been a very interesting week. You had the jump around. You had the pepper grinder celebration. I'm calling the pepper grinder celebration. You guys know the BDE celebration. Big Dodger energy. But here we go. Hashtag sweep for Vin. That's a fire one. Juice Narrows. Gallo needs some Dodger magic fairy dust. That's what I said earlier. Sprinkle that Dodger dust on these players, and you never know what's going to happen. They're going to find a way to build their confidence. You're going to see them love on these guys, like Dave Roberts did in the dugout up in San Francisco, like RVS has been doing. I think that, look, if you can find that pop, the ceiling is definitely there. If you look at his OPS above average against righties and those home road splits, Yankee Stadium, they just destroy people. You saw what they did against Giancarlo Stanton, booing him after his first at-bat. They're ruthless in New York, man. But here we go. Belly took a DNA test. Turns out that he's 100% that dog. Vibey. I like it, bro. The Padres are the Clippers. Tony, Mike Lerma, I don't think Kershaw wants to pitch till he's in his 40s. I agree with you 100%. I think he's one of those guys that, live fast. And you're not going to be able to see a role player. He has a lot of pride. He's only going to be in there if he can truly think that he has a role on a World Series caliber team. Maybe he rides off into the sunset with the Rangers. I think that's still a possibility. I think for him the angle there would be, I'm coming in here to try to, one, live close to home, play in front of my friends and family every single night, take my kids to school, and that's where he's from. Look, the home is such a magnetic attraction. It's tough to beat home, but I think LA's his home now, right? We're going to purpose ping pong for purpose tomorrow. He's made his home and established some very deep roots here in Los Angeles, so I hope he considers L.A. his home at this point of his career. And it's got to be tough to play in front of 50,000 fans, to put on that Dodger uniform, which is the best uniform in baseball, one of the best in all of sports, to go to a lowly Texas Rangers franchise. I think that might not be the move for him, because I think he would need that adrenaline to kind of play up, and I just think he should really stay with the Dodgers, retire with the Dodgers whenever he hangs them up. But here we go, Bearded Gallo contribution coming in September and October. That's from JRM. I like that too. New York Yankees, got to have that beard rule. So lame. I have Phillips for closer. We got, look, Ari Swerdlow. The thing about Phillips is you want him in those high leverage situations, because then what are you going to do with Craig Kimbrell, okay? Craig Kimbrell, I'd rather have him in there with a clean inning versus Evan Phillips. You bring him in there in any type of the order. You saw him earlier coming with the bases loaded, putting out the fire earlier in this series. So Evan Phillips is a high leverage reliever, and sometimes the innings in the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, they're more important than the 9th inning, because that's when you're sometimes facing the meat of the orders. That's when sometimes your starter who's gone deep in the games, or your first line of defense when it comes to relievers, haven't had success. So I think Evan Phillips, his true value is throwing him in there as the fireman Phillips in any situation. But here we go. D-Mac, how about Phillips for the closer? Like I said, I'm not on the Phillips for closer train at all whatsoever, because look, who was the Dodgers' best reliever last season? It was Blake Trinan. And what did they do with Blake Trinan? They used him in high leverage situations. And when you have Trinan and Evan Phillips, then look, what you're going to really see ideally, if Kimbrell struggles, you'll see them play matchups. Like, let's not forget, Trinan had 7 saves last season. Let's not forget, Trinan had the big save in Game 5 of the 2020 World Series, and Julio had the save in Game 6. So I think the Dodgers, if he can't prove that they can rely upon him for the rest of the way, they will mix things up with Craig Kimbrell. But I don't think you just go and say, hey, Evan, here's the role of the closer. I definitely think he has the stuff to be dominant in the ninth, don't get me wrong, but I think his true value lies in using him in high leverage situations late in games. But here we go, haha, funny. That said, LLC, you fellas. The experts forgot to check the Padres Kool-Aid to make sure it had sugar in it before they started drinking it again. I like that Sports Cards report over on YouTube. Go Dodgers from Calvin T. Let's just face it, the $500 million man didn't do anything for the last 4 games. The Padres lost. Yeah, not very much from Juan Soto. Yes, still, you got a single first at bat to start the series on Friday. Did draw some walks, but yeah, I mean, not having a massive impact. And just this, I truly believe the Dodgers, they're in the Padres' heads. They absolutely are. I think Bob Melvin even said it last night that they hold the Dodgers to this level where they use them as this barometer test when they need to really go out there and just play their game. And it's clear at this point that there's a mental factor in play right now. They've taken 17 of their last 19. I've said it for a few seasons now. The Dodgers are the Padres' Padre, and yeah, little brother just really hasn't been able to get to where they need it to be. Man, it's like when you're playing one-on-one with your brother and you just want to beat him so bad, and then the game's tied and just blocks your shot and dunks on you. Yeah, it's just how it is. But the Padres now, 3.5 games back of the Braves in the wild card. They're even back a half a game of the Phillies in the wild card. But here we go. Iron Man would make a great entrance. Absolutely. Carnivorous lunar activity. That would be sick. That'd be fire. Braves messed up by letting Freddie go, and it will cost them. We will definitely wouldn't be where we are without Freddie. I mean, Moose, that's a fantastic point by you. Freddie Freeman has had the best year of any Dodger this year. Let's just be honest. I mean, Freddie Freeman has gone out there. He's been dependable, hasn't missed any time. He's posted every day. He came into today's action with a 925 OPS, and he's just been outstanding. I mean, Freddie Freeman leads the league in hits. I mean, what more can you ask for from Fredericks of Hollywood? Because he's been everything the Dodgers could have hoped he would be, and then more. I mean, he adds another 2 hits today, goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, both 2 strikes, both great 2-strike hitting, and he just locked in there, man. I mean, I just love, it's a treat to watch him at the plate, but he leads all of Major League Baseball with 136 hits. Freddie Freeman getting hits, that's what he does. I mean, almost as many hits as Freddie Freeman has almost as many hits as Freddie Mercury at this point. It's got to be pretty close. But Crickets on Hater, Wendy Y. Braves better. No, Braves worse. Your Braves better. Oh, we got here we go. We got if Bellinger and Muncy start hitting like yesterday and today, this team is very scary. Great point. SD Madres from Stuck Over on YouTube. We need a real closer. That Dodgers. Let's go down here. Imagine an alternative universe. DMAC LA being a Padres Nation commentator. Hey, I was afraid that Preller was going to trade for me. I mean, I thought when they're making all those moves, getting Drury, getting Hader, I thought maybe I was going to be DMAC_SD. Thankfully, Friedman didn't trade me away. And you Dodger fans didn't. I'm happy to be still covering the LA Dodgers, the team I grew up loving and still do to this day. Kershaw will play until his ERA is above 40 BC. Interesting. I think for Kershaw, it's really about just the health. I mean, if he feels like he can still be effective, and he absolutely can if he has the feel for that slider. Look, he is in a great relationship, happily married, but we know he has a slide piece, and that slider is one of the most effective pitches in the game when he has it. It's on the table, drops off the table at the last minute, looks like a fastball the way he tunnels it, and as long as he has the feel for that pitch and that velocity, sits around 90 to 92, he can still go out there. You combine that Cooperstown curveball, Clayton Kershaw, he can still go out there and be effective. But yeah, I mean, it's the grit and grind of the days in between starts. When you read a lot of interviews about some of these athletes, they say, hey, going and playing in the games is great. You're playing in front of the fans, you get the adrenaline, you get all the praise and adulation, but it's the grind of keeping yourself in a pro athlete's form and going out there and doing the work in between starts that really is what a lot of them talk about when it comes to moving on. Pound for pound, DMAC, you think LA is peaking too soon, pound for pound? Let me be honest with you. That idea creeped into my head, especially when you consider the struggles that the Yankees are going through right now. But I will say, how could this team be peaking when they haven't even experienced the reinforcements that they're going to be seeing? 6 guys on the 60-day IL. We know that Dustin May, possibly 2 more rehab starts, most likely 1 rehab start, and he's going to be back. And then you talk about Blake Trinan, who's trending in the right direction. You talk about Walker Buehler, who they'll get back at some point in September. Same with Danny Duffy. We're going to find out if Danny Duffy really exists. Is he Bigfoot? Is he the Loch Ness Monster? Is he a Chupacabra? I mean, like, does he actually exist, Danny Duffy? We're going to find that out in September. Tommy Kahnle, there's a chance that he comes back. Victor Gonzalez, Bruce Gratterall. Yency Almonte is an interesting name to keep your eye on. Then also Edwin Rio. So, to me, I don't think this team has peaked because we're just starting to see Max Muncy really starting to look like Max Muncy more consistently. Cody Bellinger, a multi-home run game. Chris Taylor coming back, had a great defensive play there in the 6th inning. So to me, I don't think they peaked too early because I still think this team has another gear they can hit. I think they were the downshift Dodgers at one point, and they continue to win. They're 30-5 since June 29th, but I still think that this team can look, the lineup can look longer. Don't forget, too, you're getting Justin Turner back at some point. So I think that this team's going to peak when you have them all firing on all cylinders and you're not thinking about injuries. And look, this team is still hungry, too. Don't get it twisted. I mean, they're on pace to win 112, 113 games. So I absolutely don't. But let me ask you guys that question. Do you think there's a fear right now that the Dodgers have peaked? Because it's a fair question, because we saw in 2019, we saw at certain points last year when the team was having, I mean, really down the stretch, I mean, they were just outstanding, and they had to play so well every single day just to keep pace with the Giants to try to win that division. They end up falling 1 game short with 106 wins. But I think if you're this Dodgers team, I truly believe that there's another gear that they can hit, and I think that a lot of that is going to be about Dustin May, Walker Buehler, also can Tony Gonsolin and Tyler Anderson keep it up. But the Dodgers lead MLB in pitching. What's up, DMAC? What's up, Ruben Gutierrez? We got Dodgers. Here we go. This is Ryan Montez. The Dodgers lead MLB in pitching, 299 for a season. There you go. I like that stat. What's up, DMAC? What up? The Giants and the Padres, thumbs down. Just got home from the game today. Was hot AF. Stephen Mackey. I mean, trust me, your boy was burning up. Man. But we got Jamie Lannister, pods swept, dads wept. Jamie Lannister, you've been on fire today. Too easy, DMAC. 2 words I haven't heard a long time. Bullpen game. Carnivorous lunar activity. Look, tonight, the Dodgers, I mean, you're seeing them continue to go deep into games. And tonight, I mean, Tyler Anderson has been a guy that he's been so tough for LA. And I think it was tonight was a 26th scoreless outing from a Dodger starter this season. So, yeah, I mean, you're continuing to see some depth from these starters, but even if you do have to bring in some guys that need to give you some length, I mean, David Price, he's been really, really nice of late. I mean, David Price is a guy that can give you multiple innings in a game where maybe your starter goes 4 or 5 innings. So let's not forget about him as well. We own the Padres Sotos on our minor league team. I like that. Moose, Pod Swept, Dad's Wep, Blue Sausage from HJ. That guy Soto sucks. That's from Isabel. In Their Heads Rent Free from Jacob. Ryan Hickey, Freddie equals Mr. Professional. Ryan Hickey, I like that name. Look, I mean, I've called him, America's first baseman there. But, yeah, I mean, he is a professional, and he does not give a pitch away and at-bat away. I mean, look at these guys. The look in Freddie Freeman's eyes, it's just, he's absolutely locked in there. I mean, Fredericks of Hollywood is, like you said, I think that's a great way to put it because he is a professional. I saw him on the field on Friday doing these mundane drills that don't even look that fun to do, and he's smiling, enjoying them because he likes to put in the work. And I think that's the difference with Freddie Freeman. His approach isn't going to change. I saw him in the box, and you see Gallo was before him on Friday when I was on the field, and Gallo, he's trying to hit some tanks, and Freddie Freeman, just effortless swing, hitting a ground ball to short, to left, ground ball to short, ground ball to short, and he's just so committed to his approach. He's so consistent that is what a professional hitter is, and yeah, I like that, calling him a professional. D-Mac getting traded, Alex Renteria. Hey, the trade deadline has passed. There's no more waivers, so Alex, I think I'm safe. Dodgers winning 110 plus. That's from Brian W. What is your final win total for the Dodgers? Let me ask you guys that right now. What is your final win total for LA? My preseason prediction was the Dodgers were going to set a new franchise record in wins. Of course, they've won 106 games twice, once in 2019, once last season, and I felt the Dodgers were going to win 107 games. That was my prediction on wax, 107 and 55, but now they're on pace to win 112, 113 games. What is your final win count? Let me know down below. Let's get crazy with these comments. Yeah, also, you've got to talk about, so we talked about bottom of the third inning. Taylor flied to second for the first out. Then on 2-2 count, Belly homer to left, put a great swing on a sinker fastball up and away. Great sign for Bellinger. Pitch hitting a home run to left center. And then Trey Turner, he lined to right for the second out. And then Freddie Freeman with Mookie then Mookie doubled right at the first pitch. Mookie Betts, he doubled. And then Freddie Freeman with Mookie at second. He falls down the whole 0-2 and then works the count full on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. He singled to left center to score Betts to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. Outstanding at-bat there. Splitter, middle, just banged it. And for an RBI. Then Smith flew to right. So Dodgers got 2 runs on 3 hits. The Belly solo shot, Mookie double, and Freddie RBI single. And then you jump to the bottom of the 7th. Cody Bellinger hit his second home run of the game to make it 3-0 Dodgers. 15th multi-home run game of the season. First since April 28th versus the Padres. Going to left center again. And then Betts flew to left. And then on a 1-0 count, Trey Turner gets an infield single. Most infield singles in the game since 2017. And then Trey on a 100-mile-per-hour pitch, by the way. So Trey, they had no chance. The ball stayed on the right side of the line. And then Trey, he steals second, 15 of the year, leads the Dodgers in that category. And then some more 2-strike clutch hitting by Freddie Freeman. 1-2 count, Freddie singled to right to score Trey Turner to make it 4-0 Dodgers. So a lot of Freddie Freeman today, a lot of Cody Bellinger, Tyler Anderson. My player of the game, I'm really going to give it to Tyler Anderson. I really am. I mean, yes, Cody had the 2 home runs. Yes, Freeman goes 2 for 4. Every time I say Freeman, I think of the Jose Ramirez. When it's like, Freeman, you're the best hitter after me. But Freeman, he was outstanding. But to me, Tyler Anderson, when you consider the fact he gets 7 strong, faced 23 batters, 9-0-2 counts, I'm going with Tyler, the outs creator, Tyler Anderson. But here we go. Back into the comments section. Let's see what time we at. 48 minutes. All right. So, guys. So, got a couple more hours to go on the show. No, I was playing. Here we go. Muncy is a liability as an infielder. Rip the Ripper. Yeah, I mean, you saw in the 6th inning, it was a hot shot off of him. Sometimes, I mean, he did make some really nice plays early on. I think from a third baseman standpoint, he's actually made you don't really talk about just the consistency when he is making plays. Yes, he did boot one against the Phillies that led to a loss earlier in the year. He was actually a little misty-eyed after that one. But I think for the most part, I don't know if I'd call him a liability. I mean, his favorite position to play is second. He likes the reads. But I think that he's definitely a guy that can get it done as an infielder. I'm not too concerned about it. But, I think that some of his errors are a lot like Gavin Lux's is when he does have them, they lead to big innings or big runs that usually have a big impact on the outcome of that game. But one walk-off hit or lead taking a blast, and it's all will take to unlock Gallo, Nettlecourt. Sometimes that is what it takes. But here we go. I got your win predictions in here for the rest of the way. Angel, 199. Padres, more like Suns. That's a fire take. Contender for burn of the night. Mendez, 117, 109. So, you got 1-6. That's more than the Mariners in 2001. So here we go. We got 109 wins from Jamie Lannister. David Ron says 110. Pika Peak says over 100. JRM 104. Oscar Nunez says 115. Michelle 108. Carnivorous Lunar Activity 103. Jay Sands 108. Deborah Young 109. Aju Kunin 111. Craig 108. Duck 110. Alex Ranteria 113. BC 117. I feel like an auction guy at this point. 117. So to Hylene, MLB record 117 from BC. All right, guys. If that happens, will that even be a good thing? Be a big bullseye? You saw that 2001 Mariners team. They were a first-round exit. So yeah, I mean, when you look at that, I don't know. It's pretty. It'll be pretty interesting to see if they can get past that. Because yeah, I mean, that would be pretty monumental. I mean, if you look at the pace they're on right now, they would even have to step it up a notch. But to me, I think that I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how many wins this team ends up with. Will they have a 2017 like slump at some point? I mean, is that going to happen? I mean, who knows? But yeah, I think if you're that that Mariners team, I think look, that Mariners team, they beat Cleveland the first round, the DS, and they lost the Yankees in the CS, I believe. If I remember correctly, it was a lot of years ago, but I think that's what it was. So do you really want to be that team that finishes with the best record? Because it don't mean a thing if you don't win that ring, like the great Scottie Pippen said. Here we go. 110, I think we were at full strength. I might agree with the peaking thing, but we are not even close to full strength yet. David, that's my point. I agree with you. 113 wins. Justin Turner will be back soon. Hey, I'm back. What up, Booster _45? Neto, let's not get too comfortable because the Mets are only 5 games behind us. We want the first seed, not just in the NL, but all of MLB. I agree with you 100%, no doubt about it. When will Vargas play again, Jay Silva? Good question. He had a nice hot start, doubling the gap first at bat, but really, it should be. He'll get some more reps for sure. I like how you say .com, DMAC. Thanks, man. Cody, great Tony. Belly is back. Cody. This is the year from Ben Simmons, Tom B., Abdur Rahim Briggs. Dodgers need to re-sign Trey. I think we're pretty much all in agreement. I told you since the beginning of the season, that's where all the Super Chat money goes to a new Trey Turner contract. But Freeman is your player of the game. That's from Robert Prado. Are you liking the celebrations? Ruben, am I liking him? I'm loving them. I love the BDE celebration. Of course, that means big Dodger energy, right? And it's really the pepper grinder. Some of these celebrations might get you fired at most jobs if you do them, so I probably would just not replicate them at your work whenever something good happens. But I think the most important thing is this team is having more fun that Dodgers dugout than they've had for years. I think last year they brought Albert Pujols, and the hug thing was kind of cool. But I think looking back, it kind of felt a little forced where they're like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do the hug thing. It was great. We're having fun. But this year from wire to wire, this team truly enjoys being around each other. I've been in that clubhouse. I'm telling you, I've been into the Dodgers, the club dub, as they call it. I mean, it is real. Like, these teams truly get along. This team truly enjoys being around each other. They truly root for each other's success, which is big when you consider the fact that they're damn near an all-star team with all the talent up and down this lineup. And you heard today, Buster Olney in the broadcast, he said that that Mookie Betts told him that he's really become close friends with Freddie Freeman already, and that Freddie Freeman always wants what's best for him. And I think there's definitely a real chemistry there. They just have to finish the job and sign Trey Turner because he's another guy. And, you see the Mike, the Wolf of Wall Street, great. Jordan Belfort, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, a.k.a. Trey Turner. You saw the Mike celebration. Hanser Alberto. I think the chemistry on this team is unmatched, and I just think, are they sus? I don't know. Should they be blurred out on television? Maybe. Should you do your own job when something good happens? Probably not. You don't want to get fired, but it's pretty cool. And I think that Mookie's thing, his dance the other day, almost looked a little like Antonio Brown, but here we go. Signed Trey Turner already. Do you think Vargas is legit, Michelle? I absolutely think Miguel Vargas is legit. If you look at his hit tool, if you look at his confidence, he's the real deal. You talk to people that follow the Dodgers minor league system very closely. You talk to scouts. They are big believers in Miguel Vargas. They truly believe he's a guy that can hit close to 300, get you 20, 25, 30 home runs in a season, and I absolutely think that he's going to get stronger. He's going to get better. I heard him, I'll give you an anecdote about Miguel Vargas. I don't know if I can say this, but he was talking to some of the hitting coaches. He was talking to one of the hitting coaches, and they gave Miguel Vargas the time to be there tomorrow, and he said, I can be there earlier than that. And that, to me, that shows the kind of confidence and the kind of work ethic that Vargas has. I think he wants it badly, and I think he's willing to put in the work. And that's really the difference at this level. They all have talent to a degree, but it's the ones that are going to do it each and every day, keep their bodies in great shape to avoid injury, so you can continue to put in that work. And Vargas is a real dog. Also, I think on top of everything else, he's got that it factor that you just can't define. He's got the cool earring. I think he's going to be a popular player, and I think he's going to be a star for this Dodger team. I just think he's going to be one of the fan favorites too, almost like a Cody Bellinger like. Where look, Belly struggled for he has a sub 700 OPS since August of 2019. But you go to a Dodger game, I know we got a 109 win prediction from Brian, a 111 win prediction from 21 under Eric _LA, a 110 win prediction from JP Ramirez. A sale loaner says, how do you like the hit parade making opposing pitchers cry? By the way, I just realized I did the pepper grinder on the screen. Hopefully no one gifts that or something. But to get back to Vargas, though, and Cody Bellinger and popular Dodger players is, you listen to the introductions, Cody Bellinger's introduction is as loud as Mookie Betts's and Trey Turner's and Freddie Freeman's. This fan base really loves them some Belly, so I think Vargas is a guy that you could have developed a similar relationship at some point. But 120 from John Charlie, man, they go 120. We're getting crazy. Let's not forget that 2022 Dodger team, that 2020 Dodger team, I correct myself, that went 42 and 17. They were on a 116 win pace, so that team was the real deal too. But carnivorous lunar activity, I love these teams trading the kitchen sink to make the wild card. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting byproduct of that third wild card team. And is it going to set these organizations back when they probably should be trading pieces to rebuild? Because to me, it's not about the postseason. It's about winning the World Series. I mean, for some of these organizations, I think just having a few postseason games, I think it's great for their organization's morale. But when you're an organization like the Dodgers or the Yankees, some of these big top dogs, we know that a DS isn't good enough. A CS isn't good enough. A World Series appearance probably isn't good enough either. So I think when you consider that, it'll be interesting to see in the long run, will teams learn from some of these years where they did go for it like the Padres did. He goes full Senator Palpatine in Star Wars and goes full Order 66, and will that backfire them in time? But Sonny, Bing Bauer back to pitch BP to Gallo. That's funny, Sonny. A 226 run differential. Yep, Duck. 98 Yankees rolled into the playoffs too. Good point. Absolutely. I think that team won 112 games, if I'm not mistaken. The question is, how many do you see them losing for the rest of the season? I mean, look, baseball is going to baseball, okay? This team's not going to go 72 Dolphins the rest of the way, okay? Doug, we got Mets suck. We got a lot of laughing emojis. Padres are a lot like UPS. I like it. I used to say that one. I like that. This is from Seco710. Padres are a lot like UPS. They don't deliver on Sundays. My man from Seco710. Nice burn. A lot of Dodgers getting their hit celebration from R-rated insane party movie. BC, yeah. The water splash on Mookie after the pepper grinder, LOL. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that one's great. Gallo bothers me with his strikeout habit. Hope he doesn't fix that. Bubble machine celebration is still the GOAT celebration. That's from Roach. Roach, you're 100% on the money. That bubble machine was pure joy. 2016, 2015. I mean, MLB, they just took that away, being some haters. But yeah, nothing's going to top that bubble machine. It was too much fun. And I agree with you on that. And that team just had a lot of great characters, a lot of great energy on that team, and yeah, man, they need to let the Dodgers just do that, okay? Like, permit the Dodgers. They're the one team that gets. It's almost like, here, Roach, I know you're a big football fan, a Rams fan. Shout out to the Lamley out there, the Ramley, I should say. It's like how you can do that at Lambeau Field. You can jump into the stands and they don't throw a flag. Let the Dodgers get the bubble machine back. We'll start a movement. I love Trey Echo 322. Wins make good vibes. Freeman is MVP for not trading away all our prospects. Craig Osterberg. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Only time will tell, right? Because if the Dodgers, look, they lose Yancey. I mean, there's still some interesting questions as far as how will this rotation hold up? Will Tony Gonsolin, will Tyler Anderson maintain this for the rest of the season? How will Julio Urias look? Clayton Kershaw, will he come back healthy? So, yeah, I think you could be right because these are some dogs in their farm system for sure. I don't see them losing 24 from David Moose 1032. Who's taking Kershaw's spot in the rotation? D-Mac, I think you're going to see Ryan Pepiot get another opportunity on Tuesday for sure. Your thoughts on Dodgers bringing up Andre Jackson instead of Pepiot? Look, Andre Jackson, he comes up. I mean, he's, like I said, already said to his mom, sorry, Miss Jackson, woo, because a 6.34 ERA, 37 walks to 30 strikeouts. So anytime you have more walks than strikeouts at the minor league level, that's not good. He has regressed this season, but I don't think that this is not a Jackson or Pepiot conversation. Pepiot's still going to get his opportunity. The organization is still extremely high on him. I think that if you look at his stuff, to me, a lot of people saying Mitch White this, and they're sad about losing Mitch White. I think Mitch White at his very best, his ceiling is a back end starter in the rotation. Does have some nice velocity, very Ross Stripling-esque, where, yes, he can help you, but would you really want to see Mitch White starting a postseason game? Me? The answer is no. You need stuff that plays up. Yes, a mid-90s fastball, if it's well located, definitely plays up, and also the way he works that curveball. We've seen some really strong stuff out of Mitch White, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I think that he's going to carve out a niche, a role here at the Bigs. But look, they put him in a spot where they want to give him an opportunity to really play and showcase his talents. And look, he was Mr. Option for the Dodgers, but the postseason is different. And Ryan Pepiot, that changeup, that fastball, if he has the command on it, his stuff has some incredible movement. They gave him a little pep talk, and I think that you saw his last start against the Rockies. The command was significantly better, and I think that he's going to play a role. I'm not sure how prominent it is at this point, but I definitely think that not making a move for a starter or a impact reliever. I think Chris Martin looked a lot better. Gave up one home run already against the Giants, but I think Pepiot is definitely going to factor in. But Sandog, can they call it Michael Busch, Justin Kim 2000? I don't think that's not going to be the case this year, but Michael Busch definitely, he rakes Scam Diego. We got 43 and 17. Did I say 42? My bad. White was basically the team's Ross Stripling. There we go. For the Dodgers, even right up to being dealt to Toronto, just like Stripling. Yeah, it's very interesting. The Toronto Dodger Blue Jays. But yeah, that 2020 team, 43 and 17, 116 win pace. Some similarities, but you have Trey Turner and you have Freddie Freeman. I think this team actually clears them. Doug McCain, you rock. Thanks, Sergio. You rock right back, my man. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, man. You guys make this show what it is, man. I'm the man of the fan, but this is your show, guys. I'm just hosting, okay? Hit that like button. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I would appreciate that. Padres players were not Padres prayers were not answered. That's from Carl over on YouTube. I don't know. The Padres hype machine is quiet again until Tatis returns, and then it's Padres winning the World Series. Scrub Diego from Fraser. Isn't it Saint Diego from Ox 1947? You guys are just on one today, man. Your X-Dog is off the charts. Your X-Grit, your He Nice, your She Nice, that's off the charts, man. All red, super bright red bubbles on your baseball savant. Send Gallo to OKC LLC. I think the Dodgers should invite the real Leonardo DiCaprio to have him do the scene from The Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, my God. That LWC, I'm going to give that my take of the night because I think that's just such a great idea. Bring Leo in. You've seen him rocking that Dodger hat. We've seen it at more Laker games, but bring Leo in, kind of like they had Denzel for Jackie Robinson Day, and you have him do the scene. I'm not fucking leaving. Oh, wait, I'm not leaving, you know. This is my house. Yeah, no, that'd be amazing. That'd be so amazing. Have him do the chant, oh, that'd be great. Who's taking Kershaw's spot in the row? We got a couple more here, guys. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. I will be at the Ping Pong Kershaw Challenge tomorrow. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any fun questions you want me to ask the players tomorrow? Let me know. I have some ones up my sleeve. But if you have any ideas, let me know down below. We'll be there. Ooh, you cursed. Sorry. What a great weekend. Bowers, we got the Padres are terrible. Gallo We got even with Tatis back, defense negates his offense. D-Mac, you should do a live Q&A from BC. Hey, man, I thought about doing a mailbag show for sure. I bet I'll just get really wasted one night and I'll do an AMA. We'll go full Chug McCain. You guys can ask me anything on Twitter or something. But, hey, thanks, Otto. Appreciate you, man. Right back at you, bro. We got re-signed Trey. We got if Friedman is at the ping pong event, ask him to give Trey a blank check. Thanks, Colby. That will be pretty much the only thing I'll focus on. I'll try to get that extension done. I'll even have these pens, some paper. I'll work out the deal. Re-sign Trey. I thought I had read somewhere that Josh Hader was on the Padres. Must have misread. Otherwise, surely he would have pitched in this series. That's from Jamie Lannister. You're on one. You're in your bag tonight, Jamie. Sorry what happened with you and Cersei, having that palace crumble on you, man, but it's nice. But 2 beers and D-Mac will be trash, Roach. Hey, man, lightweight, but I can drink those 2 beers fast, right? I mean, hey. I had a Pacifico for you over the weekend, bro. I had a couple Pacificos. I was thinking of you, Roach. I was at 7-Eleven. You rock. Please tell Andrew we love him. But, yep, guys, 1 beer and D-Mac will be buzzing. Nando 390. Hey, man, it's good for me, right? But, hey, this straight vodka on this Arrowhead. All right, guys, I'm trash. Let's go. But no, guys, thanks for rocking with us here. D-Mac, do you think BC D-Mac, do you think Dodgers party like Wolf of Wall Street with the hookers and cocaine? That's a funny scene where he's crawling out of that Countach Lamborghini. Man, if you guys have not seen the Wolf of Wall Street, I definitely recommend it. I think it's on Amazon Prime for free right now. If not, you guys can get my account. My email is and my password is, no, I'm just kidding. But thanks, guys. I'm officially an ambassador for F1. I got into it. My girl is super obsessed. My friend just got the Ferrari hat. He's really happy about it. I kind of want to get, I like the Mercedes. You're a Mercedes guy, right? Because I think the Mercedes gear is fire, man. It's got that turquoise Lewis Hamilton. D-Mac, do you think the Dodgers keep the same core from Saul? I think really I'm feeling more and more optimistic about a Trey Turner extension. I think there's a lightness to him. I think that there's a lightness to Trey Turner when he's discussing the Dodgers. I think, to me, it was very, very telling leading up to the trade deadline, the piece he did, some of the quotes in the Athletics' Fabian Ardaya's piece where he said that, look, this is what Friedman does. Guys that shouldn't be here are here. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. And he was kind of talking about the Juan Soto trade. I definitely think he likes it here, man. And if he wants to win, do you really want to the Phillies? I mean, Phillies are a train wreck, right? The Phillies don't have the pitching to contend. I think, hey, man, if you want us to be in Florida, how about this? We'll bring Florida to L.A., make a little soundstage or something. But I think Trey Turner really – you put these 3 guys together at the top of the lineup, they're no nonsense. They're all business. The execution. You saw Trey Turner, infield hit, steals second. Freddie Freeman, 2 strike, 2 out, base hit, scores him. Dodgers get the insurance runs. So many little plays they make, winning plays. The clubhouse culture is elite. I hope they do. And I think when you consider the fact that you did invest $365 million in Mookie Betts, 12 years. You did invest 6 years, $162 on Freddie Freeman. If you want to get the most out of what they have left from their primes, you bring in Trey Turner at 29, 30, 31 years old, and you try to stack some World Series championships because that is what it's all about at the end of the day. But thanks, guys. As always, D-Mac is right. East Coast teams haven't won many World Series this series. Yeah, exactly. LA could be in Florida if people voted differently. Gary A., I'm not even sure what that even means yet as I think about that. Where are the brooms at? Yeah, I got to do the Photoshop with the brooms. I'll do that after. Is Julio walking? Julio's interesting. He's a Boris guy. I think they might give Julio the bag. I think when you consider the fact that all the work they put in developing him, he's a star in LA. That definitely means something. Read Ned Kelly's book, The Big Chair. Talks about just the marketability of some of these players. Definitely a marketability aspect to Julio Urias, and he's a guy that we'll see. He might end up signing a bigger deal than Walker Buehler. And what if I told you that a few years ago, right? But we'll see. If he continues, the further removed he is from that shoulder injury, if he doesn't run out of gas and he has another moment like the 2020 postseason where he comes up big and he helps lead the Dodgers to a World Series, I think the Dodgers will find a way to keep him for sure, especially when you consider the fact that they did try to make a move for Pablo Lopez, so they are kind of worried about kind of their future. Or they're starting to think about fortifying their rotation just past this season when you're going to presumably lose. Heaney's most likely going to be gone. I think Tyler Anderson they might try to extend at the very least, offer him the qualifying offer, and then Clayton Kershaw's a big one. But Yep, guys, here we go. We got, I think Julio will stay. A lot of Latinos in L.A. He's loved here. Moya Ito. I agree with you, man. The Urias, he's one of the guys that if he goes, he's one of like the players where I just couldn't, you know my saying, guys, fall in like with players, don't fall in love. But he's a guy that would really bother me to see in another team's uniform because, I love me some Julio Urias. Alex Renteria, Julio deserves the bag. Game 6 of the 2020 World Series. Alex Renteria, not just the Game 6 of the 2020 World Series. How about Game 7, 2 2/3 in Game 7, the way he did? But I agree with you 100% for sure. Hope we don't get betrayed. Carl, let's go. Bringing it at the very end. But thanks, guys. A couple more here, and we're going to head out of here. We got Gary. I wouldn't give Julio a huge contract. He's not consistent. Pika Peak Anderson, diehard Dodger fan at heart, shows this season. But thanks, guys, as always, for joining us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Dodgers get the dub. They sweep San Diego once again. The Dodgers are the Padres. Padre body slam Diego. But if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. If you're on Instagram, you guys can follow me at DMAC_LA. If you're on Twitter, also TikTok at DMAC_LA. You might see me doing some Dodger celebration dances. Who knows? But follow me, guys. Follow you back. But thanks, Jay Silva. And I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Hashtag win for Vin. That's a good way to end this show. The great Vin Scully smiling from Blue Heaven tonight, watching his Dodgers sweep the Padres. But thanks, guys, as always. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for